Yeah, I should win just because you had the Timberwolves in the 8th seed.
Vasilevsky's been playing really well, and the Lightning have a great offense.
Yeah, it was a tremendous shot, and I've come to expect it from LeBron. I would say I wish the best for the Red Sox, but as a Yankees fan, that's really hard for me to do.
The biggest addition to me is Jalen Brunson.
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and that's all I have to say. He's still a top 5 quarterback in this league, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it.
Why'd you have to name him? Like, seriously? Like, thanks, man.
Who would have thought 5 years ago that the Clippers and Nets would be facing in the finals?
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground?
Crazy. And for the fans at home,
Hello, I'm Cy Mendenhall, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I am Kevin, and I am joined by the man that definitely has a better run defense for his team than my team, Austin.
Yeah, Kevin, I thought the Cowboys' defense was a little bit overrated heading into the season, especially because they had some problems last year, and I think the Packers game kind of exposed that. But I did not expect it to be this poor. You are a Cowboys fan, and you've definitely watched all the games that have happened. You know sort of what to expect now, as we all do, because of how poorly they played. So what are your thoughts? Can they be fixed?
So, to me, it can be fixed this season. I don't think so. I think it requires a big trade. The problem with the Cowboys, to me, is just a fundamental issue. I understand the concerns about the defense because the Packers did create the blueprint. There were times trying to think who else. The Packers just showed the blueprint of just run the ball. The Cowboys, to the Cowboys defense's credit, they have great pass rushers and secondary guys built for the pass. However, the problem is two things. Is their offense isn't scoring a lot of points. And the thing is, teams just run the ball, get the lead, and then they're inclined to run the ball more. This happened with the Saints, and then it just, to the utmost degree, facing the best running team, the Ravens, just reached another whole level. So to me, I'll toss this back to you. What are some fundamental things to you that are needed for stopping the run as a defense? And just, you can name players, schemes, whatever you.
There's a couple of things that when I watched the Cowboys that I realized. I don't know if you picked up on this. One, their secondary does not look physical. I feel like the secondary, corners, safeties, need to be more physical in the run game. It seems like either they're not trying as hard or they're easy to block, or it just doesn't seem like they are attacking the way some other defenses, like the Ravens, attack. It's kind of, I think it's not helping other guys. And then their interior D line, I feel like, is getting beaten at the point of attack. So when the offensive line makes contact way too often, way too quickly, and it's not giving guys like Micah on the outside even a fighting chance to make a play on the ball because the hole is so massive. I'd say those are the two biggest things I see when I watch the team.
Yeah, I think bringing up the corners is specific. Kalen Carson, it wasn't necessarily a running play, but he missed a tackle. He's a rookie with Nelson Aguilar. And then their safeties are good at passing. If you look at some stuff, it doesn't look like they take the best route. To me, the biggest issue is defensive tackle. And then second, I will say linebacker. They do have Eric Kendricks, but Overshown really doesn't get – he's very fast, and he has the speed of a linebacker. It's sort of the physicality. You can see he gets lost a little bit. But to me, the biggest point is defensive tackle. This is something like many other areas the Cowboys didn't address. And the ones they did address was getting aging offensive linemen. There is Jordan Phillips, Linval Joseph, and then, of course, the first-round pick, Mozzie Smith. He is taking some time, and it was seen as a reach, I believe, then. And the problem with Jordan Phillips is so from the reporting from Twitter, he apparently does not have a wrist injury, but he is out. He's on IR for a wrist injury or something, and he was visibly upset. To me, that's something the Cowboys are like, well, this trade did not work. and now we're just going to play Mozzie. And to me, that's their biggest issue is that defensive line, then linebackers. Because if you think about it, it starts with the defensive line. I was thinking about, I haven't watched many Packers games, but when I was watching the Chiefs defense and that huge goal, I'll call it a goal line stand on fourth down uh, to win the game, basically, when Bijan's running outside and then Nick Bolton just has a great hole to run through and tackle him. To me, I was thinking about the defensive line. They're clogging up the gaps. And then you have a great linebacker, Nick Bolton, stopping the run.
Yeah, that's a good example. I think another. I do really think the secondary matters, though. I remember watching a clip of who's number 6 on the defense.
Donovan Wilson.
Okay. I remember watching a play against the Saints, and he looks utterly lost on a run play with Kamara. It was one of the I think it was Kamara's first rushing touchdown. He tries to go through the cutback lane, but there was no cutback lane. It just looked like there was a wall of people, but he's trying to stop the cutback lane, and Kamara just keeps running the way he ran and just easily scores a touchdown. I don't know if it's they're worried about giving up a big play, so they give up a big play because they're just like, oh, I don't want to give up a big play, so they're not aggressive, and you have to be aggressive to stop big plays. Or if it's bad coaching, or if it's lack of intensity, lack of aggressiveness. Do you think this issue is more of a head coaching issue, defensive coordinator issue, or players issue?
So that's a good question, and I will agree the secondary is important. To me, the secondary can stop a 6-yard run or a 7-yard run from getting to a 50-yard run or 20-yard run. So to your point, and yeah, Wilson has looked bad. There was one in the Ravens game where he just went sort of like what you're talking about too. There's a hole where if he went there, he could have stopped the guy, but he almost looked like he went to go around. But to me, I do think part of it is a coaching issue because Mike Zimmer, I think there are some schemes that he could use, but the biggest issue to me is players. And just this team was built to be fast under Dan Quinn, rush the passer, which they're great at. But the downside is the pick they've worked on, players they've picked up, hasn't really worked out. So to me, there's a player issue and just this built the players on this team.
Don't you think that coaches should be able to adjust to their staff, though, at least a little bit to try to help them out?
Yes, that's a great point. That's why part of me is part of it has to be on Mike Zimmer. Then I think of Dan Quinn also had this problem. It's just he had a better offense that scored points and put the team into trying to come back. So I think it does have to be on Mike Zimmer too, because you knew what was coming in, especially with the Ravens. You could argue about the Saints, but you definitely have to argue. You definitely have to go. You should have known the Ravens were going to run the ball.
Yeah, the Ravens have been the best rushing team in the last a lot of years. So,
and thinking of scheme, because I was thinking of the Saints, the Eagles. I think Vic Fangio is a great defensive coordinator, and I do think he has better personnel. But they were talking about on the broadcast how they put a lineman on each. Put a player for each offensive lineman on the defensive line. And of course, you have some phenomenal defensive line players on there, but that clogged the gaps as well. So the problem is with the Cowboys, they usually stick with 4 and then 3 linebackers.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys definitely get stuck in what they're comfortable in defensively when it comes to sets. But it's obviously going to need to change. And you said that you don't think it could be fixed this year.
I find it very hard for it to get fixed this year because unless Mozzie makes a huge group, the only thing that could fix it or just put a temporary hold, because right now they are the last. They're 32nd in run defense. I will double check that, but I remember reading that stat. Okay. So let's the Cowboys at 28 on Fox Sports.
Here, I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, I'm having trouble.
If you go by rushing yards, they are 30th. Oh wait. My bad. 30. No, they're second. 32nd. They're 32nd in rushing yards. If you the thing is with 28th in is attempts. They have the 28th or the fourth most attempts or fifth most attempts against, but they have given up the most yards. They've also given up the most rushing touchdowns and the largest yards per attempt.
Yeah, so it is very bad. And
Their defense have given up the fifth most yards in the league in general. That's horrible. I mean, their defense is also allowing 29.7 points per game, which is the third worst in the league.
And then another thing on stats, this is from a writer. So the Ravens had, this is from the Sturm Stack, which I've mentioned before the morning after, and he analyzes the defense. The Ravens had 161 rush yards before contact, and then 113 rush yards after contact in the Ravens game. So, of course, it's not going to be a great. The Ravens are probably the best run offense. However, really, if you're 32nd, anyone that can decently run the ball is going to do well against the Cowboys. So that to me it's just pretty tough. To me, the only way to fix this is to get your offense up, or for at least this season, is either make a big trade, which I think we could see happening, or your offense goes on a tear and scores a lot of points and puts the team behind. However, the Cowboys offense is mediocre.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much more to add. I'm disappointed in how the Cowboys defense has been. I expected them to be at least better than this. I thought they were a little bit overrated, but I thought overrated was I didn't think they were top 10, but I thought they were top half in the league. And now it seems like that's not even the case. So,
Yeah, you would think after getting embarrassed with the run game against the Packers, the number one issue would be go fix the run defense, invest in defensive linemen, linebackers, and they just kind of went bargain shopping. Well, they did go bargain shopping. They signed Eric Kendricks, made late trades, and just didn't really attack it like I would say a traditional GM does. More like an owner that doesn't, not a GM fighting for their job. So that's really it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening, and let us know if you disagree. Do you want to hate on the Cowboys? Let us know, and we appreciate all the comments in our comment section. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.